Hello all and welcome back. So, like Ross over at Bohoho, I too have been sent an evaluation copy of Yeah Yeah Beebiss 2 on the Dreamcast from Hidden Chest Gaming for me to review. The details of the shop and everything are in the description, so please go over and check them out. I want to first caveat this by saying I'm not being paid for the review, I simply just want to start doing more of them, so I took advantage of Dana's offer for the evaluation copy. So what is Yeah Yeah Beebiss 2? Yeah Yeah Beebiss 2 is a sequel to a game that never existed. I'm not going to go into all of the backstory, but essentially it was a game that was listed in certain gaming magazines that had no screenshots or reviews, just some information that the game was for sale. The idea of this sequel to a game that never existed comes from the mind of John Riggs, but from what I can tell and I can see, the main bulk of the work has been handled by Megacat Studios, who programmed the game, and Chips and Cellos, who created the music. Yeah Yeah Beebiss 2 is an all-original action platform game that is available in physical format for the Sega Dreamcast, being distributed by Wave Games Studio, and is also available on the Nintendo Switch and Steam digitally. I was originally going to purchase the Steam or the Nintendo Switch versions for the footage capture, but I felt that it was pretty pricey for what it was and for what this game essentially is. In the game you play as either Hwoarang or Li Jing, Hwoarang having the power to zap foes and Li Jing having the ability to absorb life force, like some X-Men created by Wish. The game consists of 10 levels that are repeated 10 times to create 100 levels in total. At the 10th level, each 10th level, you will then be faced with a boss fight. The premise of the game play is it's to clear a set amount of evil from a level in a set amount of time, and this does increase with each level that you go up. The issue that I found with this is it can take a couple of seconds for new enemies to appear after you clear the screen, which until you learn the patterns can be quite costly in you completing the level. So what enemies will you be facing? There are essentially two enemies that make up the evil that you have to vanquish. You have what I think is called a Men-Yori or Yoroi, which is essentially a devil mask that is quite common in Japanese tattooing, and some well-endowed looking seahorse thing. I don't know any better way to describe it other than that. Along with those, you have an eyeball that appears. This is more of an obstacle rather than counting towards the elimination of evil, unfortunately, so it does cause you some issues. And finally there is, as I say, the boss fight. The boss is essentially a stationary column of what I can only assume is blood, guts and viscera. You have to hit its eyes in order to destroy it. Sometimes it can send pillars out of the ground, which can be quite annoying and quite costly. You do get five life points per level, and if you lose them, you don't actually lose the level, you restart with a further 5. Thankfully, the enemies are relatively simple to kill, and once you work out the patterns and the patterns of the levels, it's not too hard to get into the game. The game itself feels very much like an old school Nintendo Entertainment System game. It's got simplistic graphics and chiptune music. That music can get quite annoying after some time though. It's probably its most recognisable piece is In the Hall of the Mountain King, or as kids in the UK would know it, the Alton Towers theme song. And yes, I did need to look up the name of the track, as the latter is how I also knew it. Would I advise people to buy this game? In short, my answer would be no. But that said, if you're a big fan of old school Nintendo Entertainment System games, then you may get some enjoyment out of it. For myself, Wave Games Studio seem to have more well-rounded games in the library. The price of the more well-rounded games do set you back more than the copy of Yeah Yeah Beebiss if you were to buy that. So I guess you get what you pay for. Speaking of the price, how much does it cost for this game? So if you want to pick up a physical copy for the Dreamcast, then it'll set you back around £10, but it does include printed artwork. If you're interested in getting it for either Steam or Switch, then that will set you back either £7.19 or £8.09 respectively. Given those digital prices, I would say that the physical copy is much better value for money, and for what is not a very enjoyable game. And at the two prices that it was digitally, I just decided to capture the footage on my Dreamcast. It was so much, because to me this game, if it had been maybe £4 or £5 on Steam or on the Switch, I'd have probably bought it on the Switch. But I think the extra, almost double that price is not good value for money. My intention is to do some more game reviews, and maybe even purchase a couple of the other Wave Game Studios titles that they're distributing, and perhaps review them. Hopefully, with a combination of the footage and also some of my thoughts, this will help give people a sense of whether they want to purchase this for themselves. All I can say is thank you for listening to my northern rambling about this game, and I will catch you on the next one.